Hey, what's going on guys, Ace here, and today we are going to review spoilers for chapter 181. Now, this chapter holds a lot of weight when it comes to the story, because in this chapter we are going to see what is Isagi's newest big piece, a piece that would probably need to be as big or even bigger than Metavision in order for him to be the prodigies of the world. But let's not waste any time and jump right into the chapter. The first panel is rather simple. It's just an image of two creatures, one female and one male, giving birth to a third, which holds both characteristics of the parents. The eyes of the mother, the ears of the father, and he is colored to be a mixture of the two parents. In principle, life is born by receiving a copy of the genes from both the father and mother. However, rarely, a child with characteristics that are not found in both parents is born due to a copying error. For example, they might be very small, very tall, very fast, or very sensitive. In most cases, because they are different from others, they lose in competition and fail to leave behind their genes, which means game over for them. However, by pure chance, those differences might make them even more suitable for the environment, and thus those genes increase in number through natural selection, and then the characteristics that were once sudden mutations eventually become the standard for that species. Then the cycle of gene repeats, and eventually a creature that is completely different from the original species is born. This is evolution 101, and Anri responds to this lesson. Whoa, I did not know that. So basically Pichu becomes Pikachu, right? And what the hell is even this? I know the writer is trying to make her cute, but this is just dumb. He's talking about evolution and she's talking about Pokemons. And by the way, his response is perfect. Adults who don't study will be eliminated. If you think about it, it's kind of a warning to her. Get your shit together or you will lose in life. She then replies while being very ashamed of herself, yes, I'll take care of it, as in she will study. Then she snaps out of it and asks, but wait, what does evolution have to do with football? And he answers, well, this is my personal theory about talent. I think all evolution in human species is essentially the same. Humans who are born with special characteristics that are different from others may not be understood or may even find it difficult to live. But that may be the evolutionary gene of humanity. Humans can grow the expression of their body and mind, which are born from those pointed and concave parts into the world. I think he's talking about the brain here, but the translation is kinda iffy here. I don't know what he's talking about specifically. I'm guessing the brain, but we'll have to see. In any case, he carries on, and among them, there are those who create innovative expressions that fit the time and the environment and change the world's standards. I call those who possess such characteristics geniuses. Okay, so I kinda got what Ego is saying here. You see, usually when humans are different, they find it difficult to live. However, because we're humans are able to adapt, they might even turn those characteristics, those unique traits, into innovative expressions like art, science, or computer science. And then, because they did, and because they are so different and so unique, they end up even changing the world. And their ego calls those people geniuses. Okay, this chapter is insane. Immediately, just from this, I love it because this is a big lesson. However, let's not get distracted and actually carry on with what Ego is saying. He goes, such innovation in modern society can never be achieved by a genius alone. Therefore, there is a need for another talent that can find the seeds of a genius, understand their value, and convey them to the world. The one who raises the feasibility and reproducibility of that and makes it the world's standards is called a prodigy. Okay, so what Ego is saying here, there is a difference between a genius and a prodigy. A genius is someone like Nagi, who is born with unique talent and unique traits that are applied in a fitting environment. However, a prodigy is someone who basically adapts to Nagi and figure out a way to harness his power and make it the standards for everyone. Anri responds, I see the mutation talent that a genius has becomes something that everyone in the world has. That's just like the story of gene evolution that you talked about earlier. Ego then carries on. That's right, I think that's how humanity has continued to evolve its civilization. And it's the same with football. A genius with exceptional physical abilities and who performs super plays becomes a singularity. By analyzing that and creating tactics, and by using data to devise countermeasurements, a prodigy redesigns a play with a new logic. That's how football has evolved. So that's the equation of evolution. Okay, so I was right. A genius presents something new. Then a prodigy devises a plan to either battle or take advantage of that talent. So Isagi is actually a prodigy. He is doubting himself, but he is a prodigy. The rest are geniuses. Someone like Loki is actually a genius and not a prodigy. At least by Ego's explanation, whom he carries, Isagi Yoichi. the world doesn't revolve around geniuses alone. Prodigies and geniuses are the two wheels of the vehicle, and prodigies have their own path to become the world's best. Oh my god. This actually deserves a video on its own, and I'm going to make it very quick. I need to explain this whole thing. But for now, let's carry on with the chapter, and let's cut to poor Isagi, who is having a meltdown. He says to himself, there is no logic that can beat a genius. I can't suddenly pull off insane plays that go beyond reason, like those geniuses do. I can't even imagine myself doing so. Come to think of it, I have probably just been fighting like a prodigy all along. Every skill, every weapon, every moment. I've just been analyzing other people's talents, copying and predicting them, and making slight adjustments to barely win. I'm just a hyena who climbed to the top. Now, to be honest, something is kind of missing here, and I can't help but feel like the translation is missing something. Like, especially between a genius and a prodigy. I think in the official translation they might use some other term. However, I like that. So a genius is someone with talent, a prodigy is the one who adapts. However, this kinda makes me wonder about players like Baro. Like, is he a genius or a prodigy? Because every weapon he has was not something that he was born with. Sure, his physique maybe, but he works really hard to acquire weapons, and that's definitely a prodigy-like behavior and not a genius. And if you think about it, it adds on another layer to the ego chart. But anyways, let's carry on. Isagi then continues, I can't even create even a shred of originality on my own. I am a genius number 2, a shitty prodigy. Right now the battlefield is being dominated by geniuses. The world is waiting for the super goal. Number 2s like me won't get the pass, I have to take it myself. This kinda makes sense if you think about it. Like, even with Metavision, all Isagi has been doing is adapt to other players and then feed on their weaknesses, kinda like he did with Ubers, and I definitely love this. However, as we are talking, we see that Noah and Kaiser are playing together, and Rin is actually trying to get the ball from Noah, which is funny, who immediately passes to Kaiser and the latter gives it back for a quick 1-2. However, as Isagi was thinking, and as Kaiser and Noah were doing this, all of a sudden, leaving Isagi in the dust even though he was behind him, and intercept the pass that is going to Noah. And poor Isagi is kinda shook. I mean, he's having a crisis for God's sake, so please have some mercy, Loki. Isagi says, what? No, that's too much. I can't do that. There is an insurmountable wall of talent between me and the geniuses. What is even this? And then we see Loki taking the ball from Noah, which I'm willing to ask. We are yet to see Noah versus Loki. Usually, as soon as the masters get in, they have a duel. We've seen it with Levi where Noah won, we've seen it with Prince and Noah won again, and then we've seen it with Snuffy where Noah lost miserably. However, here it's kinda different. After a lot of plays, it's finally Noah versus Loki, but it seems as if Loki is winning. He took the ball. But in any case, as Isagi was staring at Loki, all of a sudden he hears a scream. What an unfair god. What? Come on, man. What the hell? He carries on. How incredibly unfair can you be, god? And Isagi is shook. What is Kaiser even babbling about? And it seems that Kaiser is desperate because he is just furious at Loki and how fast he is. And this kinda makes sense because in the previous play he stopped the Kaiser impact, and so Kaiser must be feeling so desperate right now. However, Isagi was not having it. He is saying, why are you the same? Why are we both hopeless? Don't mess with me. You're on the side of the geniuses, right? And this is kind of what I alluded to with Baro. Sometimes there is a gray area. I really feel like Kaiser is a genius, but at the same time, after his awakening, he feels as if he's a prodigy. He is adapting to others as well, kind of like he did with Rin. And so this is actually a perfect epiphany to Isagi, who says, unlike me, you can even compete with the other geniuses. No, could it be that you are also a prodigy? And the chapter ends there. Okay, oh my god, I really need to trust the writer more because this is pure fire. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm loving this. Okay, so I actually have a lot to say about this chapter. However, I feel like I'm not going to do it justice if I speak about it here. So I'll be doing a specific video on this and what will Isagi's evolution look like. And I really hope you stay tuned for that because it's going to be a big one. However, with that, that's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, thank you for watching.